Today our topic is the difference between Stoicism and Cynicism. Both Stoicism and Cynicism are ancient philosophies that teach us how to live a good life, but they have different ideas and methods. Understanding these differences can help us decide how to face challenges and find meaning in our lives. Stoicism and Cynicism both come from ancient Greece, but they focus on different things. Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions and accept what we cannot change, while Cynicism tells us to live a simple life and reject society's rules. Both philosophies want to help us find happiness, but they go about it in different ways. Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium around 300 BCI. The name Stoicism comes from the Stoa Porcio, a painted porch in Athens where Zeno and his followers used to meet. Stoics believe that the key to a good life is to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. They think that the world is governed by reason and that we should live in harmony with nature. Stoics say that we should not let our emotions control us. Instead, we should use reason to understand the world and make good decisions. For example, if something bad happens, like losing a job, a Stoic would say that we should not get too upset because we cannot control the situation. Instead, we should focus on what we can do next, like finding a new job or learning new skills. Stoicism teaches us to be calm and strong, even in difficult times. Cynicism, on the other hand, was founded by Diogenes of Sinope around 400 BC. The name cynicism comes from the Greek word for dog, because Diogenes lived like a dog without any comforts or luxuries. Cynics believe that society's rules and values are fake, and that we should live a simple life, free from material possessions and social expectations. Diogenes, for example, lived in a barrel and owned almost nothing. He believed that true happiness comes from being free and not depending on anything or anyone. Cynics reject money, power, and fame because they think these things only bring problems. Instead, they focus on living a natural life, close to nature and far from the artificial world of society. They believe that by giving up our desires and living simply, we can find true freedom and peace. One of the main differences between Stoicism and Cynicism is how they view society. Stoics believe that we can live a good life while still being part of society. They think that we should do our duty and contribute to the community, even if we cannot control everything around us. Stoics value things like justice, courage, and wisdom, and they believe that we should try to improve ourselves and the world around us. Cynics, on the other hand, reject society completely. They think that society is corrupt and that the only way to be free is to leave it behind. Cynics do not care about social rules or expectations. They believe that true happiness comes from living a life that is true to nature, not to society. Another difference is how they view emotions. Stoics believe that emotions are natural, but they should not control us. They think that we should use reason to understand our emotions and make sure they do not lead us to bad decisions. For example, if we feel angry, a Stoic would say that we should think about why we are angry and whether it is worth getting upset. If the situation is out of our control, we should let it go. Cynics, on the other hand, do not worry much about emotions. They believe that by living a simple life and rejecting society, we can avoid the things that cause negative emotions. Cynics think that emotions like anger, jealousy, and fear come from our desires and attachments. So if we give up these things, we will not feel these emotions. Stoicism and Cynicism also have different views on material possessions. Stoics believe that material things are not important, but they do not say that we should give them up completely. They think that we can enjoy material things as long as we do not become attached to them. For example, a Stoic might have a nice house or a good job, but they would not let these things define their happiness. If they lost their house or job, they would not be too upset because they know that these things are not under their control. Cynics, on the other hand, reject material possessions completely. They believe that owning things only brings problems, and that true freedom comes from having nothing. Diogenes, for example, owned only a cloak, a staff, and a bowl, and he even threw away the bowl when he saw a child drinking water with his hands. Both Stoicism and Cynicism teach us to be strong and independent, but they do it in different ways. Stoicism teaches us to be strong by controlling our emotions and accepting what we cannot change. It tells us to focus on what we can control and to do our best in every situation. Cynicism teaches us to be strong by rejecting society and living a simple life. It tells us to give up our desires and live close to nature. Both philosophies want to help us find happiness, but they have different ideas about how to do it. So, which one is better? The answer depends on what you want from life. If you want to live in society and do your best to improve yourself and the world around you, Stoicism might be the right choice for you. It teaches you to be calm and strong, even in difficult times, and to focus on what you can control. If you want to live a simple life, free from society's rules and expectations, Cynicism might be the right choice for you. It teaches you to be free and independent, and to live a life that is true to nature. In the end, both Stoicism and Cynicism have something valuable to teach us. They remind us that we do not need material things to be happy, and that true happiness comes from within. They teach us to be strong and independent, and to live a life that is true to ourselves. Whether you choose Stoicism, Cynicism, or a mix of both, the important thing is to live a life that makes you happy and fulfilled. Life is not always easy, but with the right mindset we can face any challenge and find meaning in our journey.